Good morning.
Hello.
Welcome to the local news. I am Tommy Johnagin,
And I'm Alex Stone.
and this is the news that won't make you sad. We find stories from across the country and around the globe, staying away from politics and pop culture because who needs that shit?
We are outside. There's so many different
Why'd you
things.
yell at me?
There's so many different things happening this episode
I
that
thought
I
you were
going
gonna
to
say
know.
we have a special guest.
Yeah, but that's in the middle of it. I was like, what's more? If people are
Okay.
looking at this, is it weirder that we're outside all of a sudden or that there's another human being sitting next to us? And I couldn't
I
decide.
feel like you just ranked the things happening and put our friend Andy Woodhull last.
You think the setting comes before me?
If we're ranking things, Andy, you're always at the top of the list. But I'm saying
no, that's not true. You just made a list
No.
and put them at the end.
but that wasn't a ranked list. That was just, right now what's happening is I'm trying to dig myself out of a hole
Mhm,
that I found
mhm.
myself
You
in
got really
immediately
excited about being outside.
on this podcast.
You know what just happened when you looked at Andy? I realized your hair's longer than normal.
Well, thanks for bringing it up. I do need to cut it later tonight.
I didn't say you needed to.
No, I do. I
Have you
need
ever
to.
grown it out?
Looks good. Grow it out.
No, I did try grow. I grew it out. Might have been pandemic. I was like, I'm gonna let this bad boy grow. And
You know who
then,
grew their hair out during pandemic?
who?
Andy Woodhull.
I
Yeah.
did. Yeah,
and
it's
it looks
long.
great.
You
Look how
look
good
real
his hair
good.
Take a
looks
look
under
at
that
it.
hat.
Sure.
I feel like the fact we're going from talking about how the way you said that my
No.
hair was too long, then the way
No.
that you quickly went to look how good Andy's hair looks,
No, what I'm
kind
saying
of hurts my
is
feelings a little bit.
you never know what's going to happen when you grow it out. I bet Andy didn't think it was going to look
So,
great.
I think I got a pretty good idea of what's gonna happen if I grow mine out compared to what happens when Andy grows his
I don't
out.
know. I didn't know everybody was going to tell me it looked better.
If I grow my hair out, it's gonna look like either I'm building a bomb or I'm gonna try and fuck your wife. But Andy just looks like a cool guy.
You're just you grow your hair out. You're just the guy at the end of the bar stirring your drink, staring at a couple just to see if they're into it.
Or like you're ready to host the grand prize game.
I'm gonna kill someone, myself or another
So you're
person.
saying where does it? It's the top. The top is gone. You're never gonna have that back, but you have full sides.
No, I don't have full sides. Top
I guess what I'm saying.
gone.
Do you have that? What's that?
Horseshoe?
Yeah, horseshoe. Do you have the horseshoe?
I got a horseshoe.
You do?
But top gone, sides going. So it's not even like I have a full shoe around here.
You don't have the thing that comes out though.
Huh?
The island.
No, I
peninsula.
wish I had that. I pray for that. When I was balding, I was like, I wish I would go bald like that.
Oh.
Because mine didn't go back. There's two ways to go bald. There's a bunch of ways. There's two ways that I'm going to talk about. There's that goes like back and you get the widow's peak.
Yeah.
That's a strong way to go bald because it looks like you just got that's your hairline.
Yeah.
The way I went bald
fuck that
is
guy.
all at once my hair was like, hey, we're going to take off. And then it just was gone. And it went thin, gone. And it looked terrible.
Can I tell you another way to go bald?
Uh-huh.
And I don't know that I'm going bald. I'll just say another way to lose your hair.
Right.
That I think maybe
That's good spin, by the way.
worse
Uh-huh.
is I know like my hairline's moved back a little.
Yeah.
I'm not bald. It's
Uh-huh.
thinning up here.
Right.
Everett the other day looked at the top of my hair and she goes, "Woof, you're gonna end up like Alex," which
getting
I don't
burned
know,
when
it's
I'm
necessary
not even
on her
home.
part.
Yeah.
But the hairline, it's a little coming back on the top here, the peak,
Uh-huh.
and revealed like a little mole that I started to be like, oh, maybe that's the thing that's gonna kill me.
Oh, I got one of those right back here. Where's yours? Mine's right here.
Mine's right here.
I got one in my
over here.
part right here that itches sometimes. I worry about.
Oh, they say that's good.
Right?
Itchy
You want
mole.
them to itch.
It itches.
If
What?
it itches, you're fine.
Every once in a while it itches, and then I'm like, does it really itch, or is it just in my head that it's itching? Because I read that if moles are itchy, that they're bad news. I should get it checked out.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Two guys. Two guys that like to worry about stuff. What?
A new thing to worry about? I've never heard that.
I
I don't
haven't
like
either.
it.
I don't know. Can we get a doctor on here?
We've tried.
Take a look at all our moles.
We've tried to get a lot of different professions to come on this podcast.
So
I've been
far,
going.
you're the doctor. By
Yeah.
just saying if a mole itches, it's bad.
Yeah, I think
I've heard different color, different shape.
Mm-hmm.
If it starts growing
Accents.
teeth. Yeah,
You
accents.
never
is
want
not
one with
good.
an accent.
Itching, I hadn't heard about.
Here's what happens sometimes when things like this happen.
Uh-huh.
People will tweet at us and be like, I'm a doctor.
Oh,
Or comment on YouTube because we have a YouTube channel. We had a
Mhm.
guy cite laws the other day.
Yeah, a guy cited a law about jerking off on a bus. You can't be jerking off on buses. Tommy came
I
out
didn't say I
pro
wanted to.
That's the kind of law I want to go into.
Can I?
jerk
Here's the
off
thing,
law.
Andy.
I'm in masturbatory law.
Uh,
There's a lot of writs and stuff you got to be up on.
Hard test.
This is the thing. I'm not saying I wanted to jerk off in public, but I guess the question was, if you just put your hand down your pants, and I can't prove what you're doing, are you breaking the law? And you know what the answer is? Yeah, you are.
You're
Really?
breaking the law. Yeah, you can't be
As
making other
surprised as
people
I was.
uncomfortable.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't make an adjustment on a bus either.
Well, if someone says
You
you're
can-
jerking off,
Well, you could do an over the pants adjustment, but yeah, maybe if I got a friend that jerks off over material.
what?
I'm not gonna say their name. I'm not gonna put them
Mhm.
out there, but I got a friend that
Are you
jerks
going
off
to tell us? Their
Over
name?
material.
over boxer
They
shorts.
just write down their bits.
It's it's over boxer shorts and then finishes in the shorts, throws them away. That's how he does it.
Throws them
No.
away?
Not throws them away, but just soils them.
No.
Yeah, soils
Are you
them.
going to tell us the person's
I'll
name?
tell him. I'll tell you after the pod.
Over the
Okay.
short.
Yeah, over the
Why?
short into the and then-
Fantasizes about middle school over the shorts.
Yeah.
My pants were on, but
Mm-hmm.
I
He
got
just
there.
only plays music from the mid 2000s.
I don't get it.
Huh?
You know what? And I don't think I like it.
I mean, that's just how he does it. That's just the way.
No.
What
I
kind of
can't-
boxer short
I
material?
mean, look, I'm not saying I do it.
Like silk boxer shorts?
Not even silk.
If it's like silk or
I think they got
velvet, then I get it.
I think they got like different characters on them. There's like emojis, some other emojis. Was that Joe Boxer? Was that a brand? Some Joe. He only jokes off into Joe's.
So is he rubbing?
Yeah, he rubs. What would
Why
be?
did he tell you this?
Huh?
What I'm saying is he grabbing?
I think he's. I don't know.
Is he like rolling Play-Doh?
No, I think you feel what's underneath. It's a thin layer of material.
Why
the
does he
boxer
not want to
short.
touch his own penis? Is this a religious
Does he do
thing?
it to last longer? It's too sensitive when he touches it.
I don't know. I'd love to get him on and see if he'll talk
Let's
about
get
Is
it.
it
this guy's
religious?
boxers
It's
down.
not religious. No.
Is it weird? I think so.
It might be weird. I don't write in. You get on YouTube and comment. Is this a weird way to
I
jerk
think
off?
I just I don't know if I've told this on this podcast before, but I know that I've never told it when Andy was on here.
Uh-huh.
But you know the comedian Henry Phillips?
Mm-hmm.
We all know Henry Phillips.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Great comic, great YouTube channel. I guess we'll say he has a lot of great.
Mhm.
He has the cooking with Henry's Kitchen videos.
Henry's Kitchen, yeah.
But he had a joke that was in his act that someone heard apparently and just put in Playboy, and the joke was this woman is talking to her guy friend, and she goes to her guy friend. She goes, "Hey, I started seeing this other dude, and we went to hook up one night, and we bought a box of condoms, and we had sex one time, and it was a box of 12 condoms. I go on a work trip, I come back, and there's only 8 condoms left. So I said, hey, what happened to those other condoms? And he said, oh, I used them to jerk off into.
Mm-hmm.
And then she asked her friend, have you ever done that? And the guy goes, yeah, I do that all the time. And she goes, you masturbate into condoms? And he goes, no, I thought you meant lie to my girlfriend.
It's a good joke.
Great joke.
Yeah.
That story's coming out. I feel like Andy and I are on the road at some point when that came out. We're telling that joke back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So I said to Andy, you ever jerk off to a condom or thought about jerking off to a condom?
Mhm.
And then Andy, like an old wise man, says, no, I wouldn't do it because jerking off is one of the only free joys in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to add money to it.
Most fun you can have for free.
And I've never thought twice.
Yeah. But what about, because let me offer my little piece of life experience into this, and you tell me if it makes you feel any different.
I don't feel like Andy's words landed on you as much as I
Mhm.
needed them to.
Huh? I understand, but I'm saying I was in a long-term relationship where I had sex with no condom for a long, long time. Then I went back to wearing a condom, and it was a disaster. It was a complete and utter disaster. And I thought about maybe I need to jerk off with condoms on.
Or you treat it
so
like training camp.
I get used to it. Yeah, because it was terrible for all parties involved. Awful time. And I was like, I think I need to readjust. I need to reacclimate. I need to reassimilate into condom wearing society.
Did you start doing it with a condom?
No, I ended up, not needing to.
We
but
got a good guy. He just talked her into not using one. We got a good guy here.
I told her this exact story, and she was like, oh, okay, I get it.
She was just like, well, if it's not as good for you with the condom, let's not use them.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good. It was that I would put it on, and then we would not be able to have sex. It would just go, everything would just go south from there. That was the problem. That was the issue. That's what I was dealing with. And so I was like, I think I need to
Mhm.
start jerking off in these condoms to get back into wearing condoms.
You
I
know
feel like
what?
I just really
did you?
I think
offered.
this is a fine. Here's the thing I'm going to tell you.
Huh?
I think you're about to be like, I think I offered up some personal information.
I
You
did,
guys
and I
got
feel
quiet.
like, yeah.
Here's what I
I
think
feel like it
happened.
really landed
Here's what I think happened.
poorly.
Is we had a very, very typical conversation on this podcast, and I just started hearing my neighbor's kid talking over the fence.
Well, these kids got to learn these things sooner
Well,
or
I'm
later.
gonna go talk to that
I
kid because he really,
realize this
I
is-
was
You
vulnerable
know
there.
what? Outside was a better idea a couple hours ago. I don't know if I like it anymore.
In fairness, this is one of the dirtiest we've started this podcast.
Yeah.
Usually it's more just about softball. Way more talk
Andy,
about
you got anything to
softball.
plug?
I'm selling pillows with a quote. It's
Pillows.
the pillows with a quote on them
Yep.
that says it's the best thing you can do for free. Masturbation.
You could probably sell that shirt. You put
Yeah,
that joke in
cross
your ad,
stitch
you sell
that.
shirt.
Yeah.
I forgot you said pillows.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Indiana thing?
I don't know.
I don't know that I've heard another human
Might be a me
being
thing.
say it. I think it's an Andy thing because I don't know I've heard another
Pillows,
human
yeah.
being say it.
It's hard to say pillows. It takes a
Pillows?
lot. Takes a lot of work.
I feel like it might take pillow.
Pillow rolls
Pillow.
off the tongue.
I feel like it takes less work with your tongue to say pillow than pillow. If I'm just thinking about where
Maybe
my tongue
if
goes
you
in my mouth,
say
Disagree.
it with a condom on, it'll make it easier.
I should give it a try. Andy, you're our number one viral friend, and
You guys.
we would love to know how we go viral because
Will you have me on your podcast? That's how
Yeah.
you do it.
that might be what we need to do because we're just sitting over here in the shadows watching you skyrocket to success on TikTok, and then
You went real
You know.
TikTok viral, then that translated to Instagram viral.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
Jolene barking if you hear it.
mhm.
I can't explain it. I'm a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Just you put out some good content and it'll catch on.
Okay, that's kind of hurting our feelings together.
Hmm.
How do you feel like your life has changed? Would you say from going viral?
Well,
I can't tell if this is a bit right now.
I got to be
This
on.
part was a bit.
That
I got to
seemed
be
like-
on the
I was
local
like,
news
I'm not gonna be a
podcast.
part of this or
I
this
got to be on the
question.
local news podcast.
It felt like we were hosting a morning show in Omaha.
The first part,
How has your life changed?
the first part, I just want to know how we go viral because it is not working. But
Yeah.
this-
He
the
told us
next-
all
It'll
the things
it'll
that
happen.
we've been
Yeah,
doing
you
them,
just.
and
I
gotta
know.
do
I
that.
feel like he's holding on to some
Did
information.
you?
I don't
Here's
have
what
any.
happened with us. We started trying.
Mhm.
Alex and I have had this conversation many times, sometimes on the podcast, about
Mhm.
how we record it and then just don't try. Like we literally had not tweeted about it.
Well, tell-
I haven't told people in my life even. I'm doing nothing for it, and we go, we got to start trying. Then you go viral
Uh-huh.
and you say like, hey, you got to post this and you got to post that.
Mhm.
And we were like, well, that seems like trying. We started a YouTube channel.
Mhm.
This
You can
is-
check this out on YouTube right
this-
now.
You guys are doing all the right things,
But they
and you got a
started
great
out hot.
podcast. It's
We
gonna
got a bunch of
happen.
views, and then people have just died off.
This is how little we were trying. Is that we started trying. Another comedian comes to softball games, sees Tommy, and goes, "Hey, I saw you started a podcast."
Uh-huh.
Which
See, the word is spreading.
we had been doing it for a while, but started a podcast
Uh-huh.
is the thing that
Ever.
seems like
You wanna come say
an
hi?
issue.
So all my tips are really getting the word out.
Just come
They're
on camera and
really
wave.
helping us. Everett, come
Everett's
say
supposed to
hi
make a
on
thing.
camera. Here she comes. This will be a fun reveal for everyone.
This is
Everett
good.
Johnagin
Everett,
coming on the,
first time on the
podcast.
podcast.
6 years old.
Boom! 6 years old.
Look at
today.
that.
That's my
Ooh.
birthday girl.
Congratulations, Everett.
Everett, do you want to say anything into the microphone? Will you go inside, mamas? You gotta go inside. Huh? No. Pop in.
We really appreciate you being on the show.
We
though.
got a cigar. You can't be out here when we're doing the cigars. I thought you were inside. Girlfriend, go.
Here's the issue. It's really hard to hear her
Love
with that
you.
mask on
Mhm.
her face. I thought it'd be easy.
And she's intimidating with that sword. Hard to
yeah.
Yeah.
hard to
Hard
not
to
let her have her
tell
way.
what to do. Yeah.
Are you a hero or a villain? Hero. Thank God.
Thank God we had her dad out here to keep
Well,
her calm.
I've heard
Never
that
liked a villain.
you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. So it could go either way. I also didn't know that you guys be smoking cigars. I'm over here with the water. I look like a real square. You know,
You want some cocaine?
I would like to do some cocaine if you have any cocaine to do.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But-
So sorry about the cute interruption.
Mm-hmm.
Do
No, I
you have a
think that-
cute alert?
usually when she comes on, no one gets to see the cuteness, but that was fun, especially with the mask. I think that was a fun reveal.
But yeah. So we got to do top story now. Do you have anything you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the top story.
You want to talk about the top story?
That's great.
Number 1 or number 2? That's a little fun bit. I do.
Ah,
Here we go. Top story number 1. At home haircuts now legal in Oklahoma Head of State Board of Cosmetology sees potential danger.
Oh, the head of the board of people that make money cutting hair sees a danger.
I think you're onto something there.
I've been getting haircuts at home since the beginning of lockdown.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
Well, apparently you've been breaking
know
the
what?
law for
Here's-
that whole time.
In
You're-
Oklahoma, we would have been.
You're on the lam.
Here's something I probably didn't talk about it as much because, we don't talk about hair a lot on here.
I feel like we talk about it a lot because of how little of it I have. It comes up quite frequently.
I did a deep dive on the internet beginning of quarantine. We can't go anywhere. You know what I mean? So I order all the hair stuff. I order the things you need. Heather watches a guy and a gal on YouTube. She's cutting his hair. And Heather, I think she thought, hey, when the world opens back up, you're going to go back to your normal barber. And I think a big part of the reason I think that is because she said it about she will say, why do I still have to do this? They're open. We can go.
Yeah.
I'm just never going back because I realize I get my haircut every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And if it goes a little longer than that, it's okay. But if it gets too long, I start to feel like that little poor kid that my mom, we couldn't afford a haircut.
Yeah.
So I got to get it cut in that 3-week range. But let's say I'm back to my old average when I'm paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting it cut twice a month. Here, it's $100 a month.
$100, $50 haircut?
I'm getting a
Is that how much
35
haircuts cost?
I'm getting a $35 haircut.
Wow.
50 get the tip gets to 50. Maybe it's a
These
$37.
haircuts are expensive.
You got to go bald just to save some cash, my man. Sit
So
down
I'm
in the
saving all
shower.
this money now
Yeah.
with Heather cutting my hair. The problem when you're having your wife cut your hair is you have to need a haircut when she's not mad at you.
Oh yeah.
There's been times where I'm like, I need a
Mhm.
fucking haircut, but she's furious with me right now.
Basketball just came into the yard.
All right.
Andy, when's the last time you cut your hair?
Probably like 3 months ago, maybe.
Oh,
About 3
really?
months ago,
You
yeah.
trimmed it
Yeah, I've had maybe 2 trims since the lockdown ended. I've had it trimmed twice, I believe.
at a place, or did you have Tori?
At a
do it?
place. At a place. Yeah.
And what? Because this is the first time you ever went into a haircut
Mm-hmm.
salon. Barber
Well, I
shop?
just went to the same kind of place that I went before.
Yeah.
I'm new to California, so I went to a place I'd never been. But I think it was probably $35 or $40.
But
yeah.
what did you
Did you ask
tell
him if he goes to
them?
a salon?
I said salon first.
Yeah, because his hair's so nice, right?
Yeah. And also, I
I
don't
don't
know.
think a barber could cut that.
I just only ever went to salons. That's not true. My first ever haircut was at a barbershop. Then it was salons from there on out.
Mhm.
But what did you say to them? Because that's the first time you went in with long hair. Were you like,
Yep.
what did you tell them to do? Because you
I
still have long
never
hair.
know how to tell them what to do. I just always hope that I get someone that like can look at me and be like, I think this is how I should cut your hair, because
Yeah.
I'm bad at asking them how to do it. So I usually say like, I like it like this but shorter is what I usually say.
Okay.
And
I say that. I used to say that.
Yeah.
I don't think they
I
like
like
it.
it like this but shorter. Yeah, they like really detailed descriptions of how you want it. And
Yeah.
I'm never able to.
I would
I
go
wish you
in-
like a doctor being like, how do you want me to
I sometimes
remove your kidney?
now I took a photo of myself, or I had a photo of myself when it was at a link that I was like, "This is the perfect," and I took that photo.
That's a good idea.
And so instead of taking a photo of a celebrity, I just took a photo of myself, like make me look like this version of myself.
I had this is
Is this
one
off
of the
the
great things
record?
about being
Do you want me to turn this off?
I had a picture. Heather found a picture.
Mhm.
She's like, I like your hair. Like, this is a great haircut.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go tell them to get your hair cut like this.
Oh, of a
So-
different guy, not
me.
of
No, it's
you.
of me.
Of you?
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, it's a little shorter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I go get it cut shorter. That's what we're doing. Then we start doing these home haircuts. And one of the cuts, she's like, I'm going to leave the top a little longer. I think you look better with the little longer on the top.
Yeah.
And I go, for fucking 4 years, I've been getting the same haircut because you said it looks better with it shorter on the top. And she's like, oh, things change and grow. And I'm like, I feel like it's a moving target here. I feel so. 4 years. At what point did you go like, I think he's not as attractive as he could be, but I'm just gonna let it slide.
I heard on a podcast, it would have been better if it was someone I know that said this, but that 2 different women, their boyfriends shaved their beards after long periods of dating, found out that they were unattracted to that person, and ended the relationship.
They didn't
After
say
the
grow
beard
your
was, they
beard
were
back?
like grow it back. It was
One said grow it back. One said I can't unsee what I've seen, and I gotta
Gosh.
walk
Oh
away.
my god!
Isn't that
tough to
wild?
find out you're ugly on the inside of your beard.
I had the opposite thing where I had
Hey,
my
you just wrote a monologue joke.
my girlfriend won't let me regrow my facial hair because she hates it so much. Where what was
You posted a clip the other day on your Instagram
It's
where
true.
you had your mustache.
Yeah.
Startling.
Is it?
I forgot that you looked like. Not in a bad way.
Really? Because no,
Uh-huh.
it came out as such a compliment.
I used to do such a great joke about it too, and then I thought about your joke
Uh-huh.
when I grew a beard because people were so complimentary of my beard that it's like,
Uh-huh.
oh, you hated my face
It's just-
before.
I like how I can see less of it now.
uh-huh.
In fairness to everyone, I sometimes will see photos of myself in a mustache and I go, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
But other times I'm like, I gotta bring this back. It was a strong look.
You're gonna bring it back.
No, I can't. My Maura hates it.
What's the story here? So it was illegal to cut hair at your home.
So yeah, it was illegal, and then I think in part because of the pandemic, they were like, you can do it. So the cosmetology board, and I think you're spot on with saying that they just want to be able to make more money, but their argument is that sometimes you're dealing with chemicals, like there's a reason you need to be licensed, like there needs to be recourse for people to have against like a business and XYZ. So I think for those reasons,
Oh, are they saying that you can now? I misunderstood this from the jump. I think they're saying anyone can cut anyone's hair for money now,
yes, yeah.
or they're saying it's. Was it one of those? I thought it was one of those dumb laws where it was illegal to cut your husband's hair in your house.
No, so it was illegal for you if I wanted Heather to cut my hair, or we'll use Andy because he has some. If Andy wanted Heather to cut his hair, and Heather was like, "I'll do it for $25," that was technically illegal. But now it is not. So she doesn't need
Well,
like a
this isn't
brick
as-
and mortar thing. She could
It-
just be running
to
a
me,
thing
it
out of her
feels like
house.
this was. I don't think I'm in the wrong here. I felt like they should have said it's now legal to open your own business.
Well, I think it's specific to hair cutting, or
Open your own hair cutting business.
Yeah,
Are there any details here?
I mean, I feel like I'm giving you some. The stylist, the cosmetology person says that and this is the thing I did not know, guys, but says that some of the chemicals that you're dealing with, this is why you should have to go to school, be trained, get a license, is that these chemicals are dangerous. They're caustic. They can eat human flesh if left unattended. Which I had no idea that was the kind of stuff they're putting on hair or your head. What is that chemical? I feel like you should know about that chemical.
I don't.
You think it's that blue thing that the comb is in? You think that's the one they're
I don't
talking
think
about?
it's that.
I think it might be that.
It's got to be hair dye stuff.
You think it's hair
not even
dye
a
stuff?
question, right?
I don't know. I'm not the guy for this conversation,
Could
But-
you imagine you went to get your hair cut and just all your skin came off?
You cut a little too close.
Yeah, just guy with a hat on. You ever have a bad haircut? I've ever had a bad haircut. Sit down for this story.
All right.
So that's top story number 1. Top story number 2.
Just Andy if he's ready.
Andy, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Debris of alleged UFO crashes in South America being studied in Stanford lab.
Ooh.
How about that? You guys believe in aliens?
a great
Whoa.
headline.
Well, I
Huh?
do now.
You do know? Now that
He's
Stanford's
already
involved?
in.
Now that Stanford is analyzing one of their buses that came through.
You think they come in on buses?
Yeah, I think it was a UFO
A
bus.
UFO bus?
Mm-hmm.
So there were
Well, you're not traveling through the galaxy in a sedan.
there were alleged UFO crashes. Somehow they came to find debris from an alleged UFO crash in
You know
South
what's great
America.
on F1? The announcers call it debris.
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 Some debris.
There's some debris on the track.
So they find some alien debris.
Yeah.
And they're looking at it and they're like, there's no way to know what this is. She says it is. He says it's
Why are you
not.
talking like that?
What do you mean? Why am I talking about it? This is how I talk on the podcast.
No. you've never talked like that.
I feel like I'm doing nothing differently. I'm
You
giving a
did
little bit
something
of this. I'm giving you a little bit of that on the podcast.
I don't know.
So
Who's she?
Huh? I don't know. This is the royal he and she in the podcast.
Oh,
Is so in the story. So what happened is in Stanford they have this
alien checker?
microscope. It's this thing that it's like subatomic where they can look at a structure, metal, rock, and they can go down into the actual atoms and see if they are of earthly origin or not. So essentially, they can tell if something is from outer space or is not from outer space. So they're going to look at this on a molecular.
Nope.
Mhm.
Let me try it again.
Go ahead.
Molecular.
I think he did
Feels
it.
right, right? They're going to look at it on that level, and they're going to see, hey, is this actual alien debris, or is this something more
On what level?
a molecular level? What's up now? Nailed it. First try. Do you believe, if you just had to put your money on, right? We're in Vegas, and this is a line you can bet on of, is this alien or is this not alien? What do you betting on? What's your heart betting and what's your mind betting if you're in Vegas? And this is
Are there odds?
their odds. It's 50-50. It's a coin toss here. What do you think?
I'm going alien.
You going alien?
Yeah, I'm going alien.
More fun to go alien.
It's more fun.
It's not alien.
It's more fun.
Not alien?
I mean, I believe we're not the only living beings and whatnots. But
Uh-huh.
I think what you're finding is most of the time, I'm going to say probably all the time, is something that is classified. It's a government aircraft or weapon that is classified. So when
Mhm.
people see it, everyone has to go, oh, it is fucking crazy. But people know what it is.
You're big on its government stuff.
It's always the government.
I remember when those videos came out, we were talking.
Oh, that was definitely the
that
government.
you said that it was some other government thing. You don't believe
It doesn't
alien.
have to be another government. It could be our government.
But so you don't think that there's a chance that those, you know what I'm talking
I'm
about?
not saying the in and government.
The
Do people do that, or
government?
is that just me? The government. I just said government.
All I know is I got a lot of trouble for saying Pello earlier, and you guys are just butchering several words.
I don't know if
Well-
you got in trouble or just maybe we made you part of it.
I think
mean, we
we
can just treat you like a little baby over there, or we can make you part of it.
I think we noticed. And I am famous for my mispronunciations on this podcast. If I don't do it, people get mad. So that's actually, honestly,
One of
why
our least
I do
viral
it.
moments was a video of you pronouncing a word wrong.
But you know the video that Navy pilots were like, "Oh my God, we what is this thing? We're gonna follow it," and everyone was like, "Oh my God, it's an alien." Tommy came out hard, said not an alien, said it's just
No,
some.
even the Navy pilots said it's probably some aircraft from a government that we don't know about yet.
I didn't. You think
Hmm.
there's a government we don't know about?
Like Wakanda?
No, an aircraft. You know what? Maybe, but I maybe misspoke. He's saying it's an aircraft that we don't know about. It's a government aircraft that we don't know about yet.
Okay.
It could be ours. It could be another government.
Like Air Force 3.
Or like an alien
Is there
government.
one of those?
Could be. We just don't know about it.
Don't know.
We don't know.
I'm in.
I'd like it to be
So
aliens.
we're gonna have to have an update on this story.
Gonna have to have
I
an
wonder what
update.
it looked like just, forget about the molecular level. What did it look like just regular to make
Great
people
question.
think this is maybe alien? you
Well, I
know?
think it's so small, so I think they're actually. You see, and I'll have to
Uh-huh.
throw this into the video. It's just like
Uh-huh.
in a
That's
vial.
stupid.
It's
It
just
Probably
really
had
tiny.
alien plates.
You think it was just like spinning on the
Yeah,
ground?
alien plates.
Uh,
Just said UFO.
It looks like rocks.
yeah, but like
Mhm.
metal rocks, metal alien.
What would make you think that that's even?
yeah,
alien?
from a ship? They're so small.
I
How
don't
little
know.
are these aliens?
They're tiny.
that's a great
yeah,
question.
they're tiny. They're like that alien
What
in
if
Men in
that's their
Black
whole-
that's inside that guy's face.
Those,
you know
in
what I'm
that
talking
little
about?
vial, it's their entire Air Force because they're so tiny.
It's all. Sometimes I think about that. We get down small enough. What are we gonna find? You
I don't
what
know.
mean?
I don't know.
You ever think about that?
There's a
get
great book
down-
about that. There's a great
did
book
you
about that. You ever read Horton Hears a Who?
I
It's
did.
all about that. Yeah.
Guess you get
You'd
smaller,
be
smaller,
interested
smaller.
in it. It's kind of
That basketball's back. I'm saying if you get down small enough,
I picked it up last time. Our neighbor's
I'll
basketball
go.
keeps popping
and
over
you
here.
got it. I got it the first time. You get
I
down
think-
small enough, right? You keep
You
shrinking.
mean me shrinking?
You keep shrinking. You keep shrinking and shrinking and shrinking as
Yeah.
small as you can go, past what an atom is. What do you think you're finding? Subatomic. What's down there? Who's down there? What are they up to? What are you thinking?
I think we're finding a bunch of nothing.
No, I think we're finding something, and
I
I
was
think
trying to.
might be aliens.
I think here's what I do know. You get down small enough, Rick Moranis has to go through a real ordeal to find you.
Mm-hmm. He's got to get down on the grass.
Did they ever find out who punched Rick Moranis?
Yes, I think so. I think that.
Did they punch him because he was Rick Moranis?
I think the guy,
Did
honestly.
Rick Moranis shrink their kids?
You son of a bitch. I can't find my family.
My kids.
I've been looking for years. I think they did find him. I could be wrong. That's an easily Googleable thing, but I don't know.
It's not part of the podcast.
Rick Moranis Shrunk My Kids is a great angle for a reboot of the whole franchise.
He's
a bad guy.
It's
Yeah.
Cobra
Wow.
Kai of
Yeah.
Honey, I Shrunk My Kids.
That's a fun one. All right, you guys want to go to Crime Time?
Grab Dan.
San Francisco will
I didn't
pay
know we were
people
doing this site.
to not shoot others. Cash for criminals. So I should have said the last part, but I think it's an interesting thing to talk about, not from this perspective.
Is this on any other news outlet?
I don't know. Sometimes people send me things, and they
Alright.
happen to be on this
Have
specific.
you shouted anybody out?
Huh? I don't remember if I got this from somebody. But they're doing a thing in San Francisco where it's a very progressive thing to do. Is they are at high risk convicts who are being rehabilitated into society.
I'm in so far.
Are being paid a monthly stipend of, I think it's $300 to not be involved in gun violence, as an incentive for them to avoid situations and lifestyles that would put them at risk to, be involved with things like that. And so that's
hope it works.
Sacramento is. Sacramento? It's what
San Francisco.
San Francisco is doing.
That's going to be a fun episode of Fuller House.
That's what Uncle Jesse.
DJ, how you getting all this extra cash?
Get it?
We watched an episode of Fuller House the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's other good ones. Maybe there's other ones that are good.
A Fuller House or Full
Fuller
House?
House.
Fuller House.
Yeah.
The reboot. Is it a reboot or a sequel?
Sequel?
Okay.
Mhm.
It was fun seeing the old house and everything. Strangely enough, it's lit. It's more darkly lit. Is that a sentence?
Dimly?
It's more dimly lit. It's more
Andy?
dim. It's dim.
I don't know.
Break the tie.
I'm dim. But yeah, it just didn't it wasn't lit in a way that gave you that nostalgic feel. If that makes any sense.
It
at
didn't
all.
look like the first version.
It's in the same house set,
but the lighting was off.
a little darker.
Do you think it was like the 4K TV making it seem
Good
Interesting. I
question.
should
different?
Good question.
I'd like to go back and look at the old Full House. I really watched that as a kid, and I wonder if my kids would like it.
I feel like I'm one of the only people on earth that was not a big part of my childhood. Full House was not a show that I watched.
Did you do the TGIFs?
No, I don't think so.
Family Matters?
No.
Step by step?
No, you guys can list the whole lineup, but I didn't
Dinosaurs.
do it. Dinosaurs I did watch. I don't know how I ended up there.
Dinosaurs.
But I did watch a lot of Nick at Night. So if Dinosaurs ever ended up on Nick at Night,
I mean, that's one way to brag about having
You
enough
know?
money to have cable. Somebody grew up rich.
I grew up with Nickelodeon.
Somebody grew up without a bedtime.
Yeah, Nick at Night. What are you doing?
I was
I would
a
watch
bit of a night
Nickelodeon.
owl, guys.
My mom would clean this woman's house. Her name is Janita. She actually introduced my mom to my stepdad.
Oh.
And I won the stepdad lottery. Great guy. Love Janita for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go to work with her when she cleaned Janita's house.
Mhm.
And Janita had Nickelodeon. And I would how long did it take to clean? My mom cleaned this house for 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I would sit down and almost not move for 8 hours.
Just
I just
transfixed.
watching whatever Nickelodeon would give me.
Rocko's Modern Life.
Mm-hmm.
Ren and Stimpy.
Was Doug on Nickelodeon?
Doug was Nickelodeon.
This is going to get us pulled off the internet now.
I'm trying to think of what else there is. Angry Beavers.
I never saw
think that's on
Angry
Pornhub.
Beavers. But then they had a hot lineup for a while there of Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, and Powerpuff Girls.
Well, that was Cartoon Network.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right.
You just
Oh,
listed
man,
the hits of Cartoon Network.
I blew it.
Somewhere a
blew it.
Cartoon Network executive has just spit out their coffee, calling in. This son of a bitch.
Are we taking callers now?
We're taking callers now. I got us a landline for the
Dude,
podcast.
also, don't correct Andy. He's very sensitive.
I'm glad you did correct me.
Well, you had to know. I couldn't let that slide. Local hero. This is a fun one, guys. You guys are going to want to hear about this. Taco Bell wants you to send back your used sauce packets so it can reuse them. They're going totally green. Taco
I
Bell.
already refill them at my house.
Do you fill them back up?
I fill them back up, seal
very
them, put them back
efficient.
in the fridge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Were
you a sauce house, but ketchup house, like fridge full of packets?
Mora
Really?
just threw out a brown paper bag full of Taco Bell hot sauce because she was like, this is ridiculous that we have this many and we've had them for this long.
Here's what I look forward
hoard
to.
them.
One day you're going to come home.
Uh-huh.
You're going to need it, and you're going to be able to bring it up.
This is the argument I said.
Yep.
Here's when I was a kid. This was what a little freak I was. One of my favorite meals, Taco Bell bean burritos. Such a picky eater, it was one of the only things that I would eat. Where my family would go to restaurants, we would have to go to Taco Bell on the way to the restaurant so that I would eat. I was
that kid a little bit with Chinese food, which we ordered tonight.
When we would go to the Szechuan house in Cincinnati, I would go to Taco Bell first. I would eat 2 bean burritos in the restaurant while my family ate Chinese food. But I love Taco Bell mild sauce so much that I would have leftover mild sauce.
You
I
packet
would just
sucker?
Suck on that packet.
Little packet sucker.
Straight to the face. I was
really
drinking
what do you
Taco Bell
in
mild sauce.
It couldn't be good for you, right?
There's no way. No way it's good for me.
I would drink
so
the
much.
mustard packs in elementary school, like just to gross out the other kids.
Oh, mustard. Oh, to gross them out?
Yeah, because the other kids would have such a reaction, like, oh my God.
I was watching the Man Show. You guys remember the Man Show? We're men. We can talk about the Man Show. And they paid, I don't know if they paid, they had an audience member eat a full stick of butter. And I found it so disgusting and hilarious all at once that I would then pay my friends to eat butter in front of me because I couldn't believe that people
Pay your
would.
friends to eat butter?
I would pay my friends to eat butter in
You
front
would
of me.
be a fucking weird billionaire. I don't think I would want to be friends with you if you had a lot of money.
Look at this rich kid with
I'm that
cable,
guy.
no bedtime.
I'm that guy where
cable, no bedtime, paying kids to eat butter.
when everyone's like, if
Why
for $1
wouldn't
million,
you eat the butter?
would you suck it? I'm the guy that's like putting up the cash.
I'll pay you. Why wouldn't you eat the butter?
Because I thought it was disgusting. I think it's gross, and I couldn't believe people would do it.
Would you like get off on people?
No, I thought it was funny. I thought it was. I
Wow,
couldn't
man.
believe it.
That may be one of the weirdest.
I'm
things
not
I've ever
proud
said.
of it.
Would
I'm
you
not
eat margarine?
proud of
Was it a health thing?
No, I liked butter. Actually, here's the thing. When I think I've said this on the podcast, is that when I was at home growing up, I didn't like butter. And when I would go out to restaurants and stuff and they bring out rolls and butter, I was like, this is so good. Why is it not like this at home? It's because my parents were buying unsalted butter my whole life. So I was just getting
butter's better with salt.
I was just getting shit butter the whole time.
When you're lactose intolerant, butter's one of the things you got to watch out for, because they'll just put it in things.
Yeah.
On this packet thing, here's what I'm thinking with Andy.
Mm-hmm.
Andy and I have been friends for close to 20 years.
So you're almost done? That's a fun
And
bit. Love that.
almost
one. That's one of my
You're
favorites.
just doing crowd work now?
Where are you from?
When I asked if you had a bunch of packets in your house of fast food ketchups, I should have known the answer because I would assume you grew up not eating fast food.
Yeah, no, not a lot of fast food in my house. Real
what
healthy.
Was it like? A treat or never? Or sneak?
Maybe a treat, or like on a road trip, maybe like going to spring break. Maybe we would get it, but almost never. I would say almost never fast food.
But when you would do it, would you try and be healthy within that, or it was all bets are off for eating fast food?
No, if we were at the fast food restaurant, they would let me get anything I wanted. There was no like, you got to get the salad. I could have anything I wanted.
I don't even know
was
if
there.
McDonald's had salads back then.
Yeah.
Did your mom eat fast food ever when you would do this?
Well, I'm sure she got something. If we went there, I'm sure she got something.
Would you?
Very rare. And I think maybe we would go to like Wendy's and she would get the baked potato.
mom
Wendy's
would
had
do
a baked
that.
potato for a long time.
When I drove,
What a weird thing.
Yeah, just
do you think they still
eat
have
a
baked
full
potato?
baked potato? Probably.
Wendy's does. When I
Have
drove,
I told this? They still do.
when I drove out here from New York to LA, was all that I was eating. I would find Wendy's and get 2 baked potatoes, and that was what I was eating on my road trip.
What?
While you drive, you're eating a baked potato?
Well, I would stop and I would eat the 2 baked potatoes.
What?
And, I just wanted.
Why is that?
I would get 2 baked potatoes. I get fruit punch, and that was
With
my
anything
meal.
in it?
Huh?
With
Yeah,
anything?
the butter and the sour cream, and then the pepper. I like a lot of black pepper. I put that on my baked potatoes.
What was the reason?
I think I was at a time where I was trying to not eat a lot of salt, and that was the thing that came.
You
I
got
could
to
get
salt a baked
with
potato though to make it better.
with no salt. But when you put enough sour cream and butter on that thing, I mean, you get
Oh,
a
yeah,
little
you're a real
salt in the
health
butter.
Good thing about a baked potato is when you eat it, peel and all, with some A1 sauce.
What?
Whoa, A1 sauce.
What?
You're a steakhouse over here.
Yeah.
You're just
You ever
eating?
done it?
No.
Come on.
What? Now, when you say, when you do this,
Yeah.
are you eating it like this, or you're done with the baked potato and now you're eating the peel?
Why would I eat it? First of all, you can't say it like this because we're on a podcast.
Well, I'm also on video. I'm trying to drive people to the video.
You want people to pull over? I guess I gotta watch the video now.
Intentionally vague. What about what was your face like when you would do it? Would
You
you
just asked me if I picked up a baked potato and ate
Yeah.
it by my hand.
Well, you said a crazy thing, so I feel like me asking
not
follow-up
crazy.
questions is not.
I bet a lot of people do what I do.
No, I.
You cut it and you cut it with the peel attached.
Yeah.
Don't take the peel off.
Right.
And dip it or pour A1 on it. It's great. I've gone to steak places before and got a plain baked potato and be like, hey, I'm not gonna this will not touch my steak, but do you have any A1 sauce? I'm not gonna use it for my steak. I
Yeah.
always clarify that it won't touch my steak.
I promise.
But I always do this. I always put one bite of the steak in the A1 sauce because then nobody's gonna be my boss.
How old were you guys when you stopped putting A1 on steaks? Because for me, it was like 3 years ago. It might have been when I got to California.
I would say it was when I got to California.
Yeah. I don't think that I had good
I
steaks before.
I don't
that.
think I had good steaks. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's about what I was gonna say.
Yeah, maybe
the food's
college.
here.
I don't know. Yeah, I did love it when I was
We're
young.
almost done.
I think
Maybe
it's
college.
We're
delicious.
almost done.
I honestly think it was when I went to your birthday, like right after I had moved here. We went to a really nice steakhouse,
Went to a nice place.
and I had a steak, and I was like, "This, I didn't know steaks could be like this." And then,
It was good? You enjoyed it?
yeah, it was great.
Without the steak?
Yeah, it was great.
Or steak sauce?
I don't do it anymore, but yeah, it was fantastic.
We should do a steak night.
Yeah.
You know who makes a great steak?
Who?
Me.
a steak
You
night
got
right
my
here?
steak night here.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they are good.
I tried to get Everett. You know what? My kids love a steak. They get a fillet, then like a fatty cut.
Mm-hmm.
I make them, sear them
Yep.
in a cast iron, and then it's just salt and pepper. Sear them in a cast iron. Sometimes do a little garlic and olive oil at the end. But sear them in a cast iron, finish them in the oven. Got a whole breakdown recipe from Dilip, friend of the pod, and I've had a handful of people be like, "This is the best steak I've ever had."
Wow.
My kids love a fillet, a little spicy pasta, as they call it. That Heather makes this pasta that's just like garlic and red chili flakes and olive oil. It's delicioso, and a little broccoli or asparagus. Hard to beat. That's what Harper's birthday's meal is going to be.
Oh wow, what a birthday meal! Maura, before we started dating, was a vegetarian, so she's not a huge meat eater, and so we don't eat a lot of meat at home: chicken, steak, anything. We eat a lot of turkey, tacos. That's like the biggest meat indulgence.
2 tacos.
So we go to, or she goes to someone's house, and they cook steak for her. And she comes home and she goes, "Why don't we eat steak more?" And I was like, I got so angry. I was like, "I'd love to be eating steak all the time, but you don't want to." So I'm gonna try and get some more steak coming into my house. Is my point, but not eating a ton of steak at home.
Have you had my steak?
No, I don't think I have. But I've had Dilip steak. You know, I've had the
that's gonna be a bummer.
the mother
'cause yours is
steak. I've
just
had the
better than
source. I've had the source of your recipe.
Andy, you get a lot of your food mailed to you now.
I do. I have a lot of food mailed to
They
me.
ever
Yeah.
mail you a steak? In this
Yeah, they do
magic
have.
oven?
They have steak for the magic oven. They do. Yeah.
You know, I need to know if you get an update from that place you order food that they end up doing the non-dairy option. Let me know because I got to do it.
Okay.
I saw myself in the mirror the other day, and I went to a place of like, I gotta order food. I gotta do like something. I gotta do something.
And
I feel like I look like I'm either someone that's was super heavy and has lost weight but is still not at their target goal, or I'm someone that's just clearly getting fat.
I'll say 2 things.
I don't like that people are looking at this video as they talk about
2
it.
things.
Could you zoom in on Tommy on that part?
Yesterday when I was over here helping set up the birthday party, I got to look at you and I said, "That guy looks like he's lost weight." So
Are you doing a bit?
No, I'm not. I'm for real. You look like
Really?
you lost weight. The second thing is Andy made me one of these magic oven meals that he's got.
Mhm.
It was terrific.
What?
It was great.
Yeah,
Andy's never made
I
me
cooked
a
him
meal.
one.
Well,
Come
he had
over.
extra. He had excess
He
meals.
Come on
lives
over.
Far away.
He does live far away. It is.
We're getting at the root of why you never had one.
I want to do this magic. What's the place?
It's called Tovala.
Tavala.
Yep, Tovala.
And while we're mentioning brands, I'm drinking a Cutwater here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have had them.
I love
them.
those.
It's the best.
I love them.
What would you call it?
It's a cocktail. It's like a cocktail in a can.
This one's vodka, soda. It's a grapefruit sparkling soda, 0 sugar, tasty. How do you get them to sponsor this podcast?
I think we say it enough.
Like
Cutwater.
this, yeah.
Everyone look at the camera.
Cutwater.
Cutwater.
There's got to be someone from Cutwater
And
listening.
then-
We have so many people.
If
One of them has to work in the
Well, we
marketing
got-
department of Cutwater.
we got this viral TikTok star over here. I mean, people
Here's the thing I was thinking.
break it down his door over here.
Cutwater,
Mhm.
they're all over Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
So they're spending money in Los Angeles. It
Mhm.
doesn't make any sense why they're not spending money on this podcast.
Here, when people think Los Angeles, they think of two things: Dodgers, local news podcast.
Right.
So I feel like it's just a matter of time till they pick up the phone.
Andy, have you had a Dodger dog?
Yeah, I've had a Dodger dog.
Do you
yeah.
think it's
It's a piece of
one
shit,
of the
right?
best-
We talked about this. I
Yeah.
think it's the same as a hot dog. I don't think it's above
Look at
and
that.
beyond a hot dog.
Just he's
no.
He's
I'll
coming
tell you the best
Ballpark
hot dog. A best hot dog is
in ballpark
grass-fed beef hot dog. Applegate Farms or something like
Yeah,
that.
I'll go to the Applegate Farms
Yeah.
baseball game and enjoy that. What I was saying is
Yeah.
ballpark hot dogs, Dodgers is a top tier hot dog.
I mean, I love ballpark hot dogs at all the stadiums, and I think they might be the same.
see that
It's not the
expert.
same.
This is an expert coming on the show, and he told me off air, Dodger dog, it's a piece of shit. He's being kind. He's being kind to you
No,
on the show.
I don't
It's
know. How do
not
we
good.
edit things out of this thing?
Not a good hot dog.
Did we even get into this story? The hero? You did it? Just
I mean,
send your package
I think it's
into-
just great. Yeah, you can
Taco
send
Bell.
them back in. You literally
Can you send your diarrhea in?
can mail it back in. If you box it up, I think they'll take it.
Is it meat now?
Hmm?
Didn't Taco Bell get in trouble for it not being meat?
Taco Bell's got in trouble for a lot of things. They've given people salmonella like a whole mess of times, but they're doing better, and I think we should support their efforts. They stopped selling the Mexican pizza because of the packaging that it came in. There was so much plastic involved. They said we're not going to sell this anymore. Now, whether that's true or not, I have no idea. But they're trying to be good.
Taco Bell's
crazy.
crushing his brand. Over the summer, I was with my stepdaughters, and I was like, we can go to eat anywhere you want. We're in Colorado. I said, anywhere you want. You pick the restaurant. It's on me. Anything.
Mhm.
Taco Bell drive-through. That's what they chose.
Wow.
That's what they
Really?
wanted. Yeah.
Did they
wanted,
order like a
they
lot
wanted
of
Taco Bell.
food?
No, they just got a regular amount.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Is it something they get often?
I think they
And
eat
they
it all the
still-
time. Yeah, and they like
still
it.
want it.
They just like it. Yeah.
I like
Taco's
that.
great.
Yeah.
That's how I am with Chipotle.
Fantastic.
Does Chipotle spend money on podcasts?
We should find out. You want to go local sexier?
Yep.
No sexting or masturbation on duty, Utah Police Oversight Council rules. So that's a confusing headline. Here's what they're saying. There was no rule in Utah that you couldn't jerk off or sext on the job. And so they made
As a
one.
police officer.
As a police officer. There was nothing was written down saying, hey, if you want to jerk off.
Do you think that's one of those
Jerk
things they thought we probably don't have to make this a rule?
I
And
guess.
then it got out of hand.
Well, I think that
You know what? Your friend that jerks off on his boxer shorts. My first thought was he was Mormon.
not Mormon. No. Not Mormon, I promise you.
All right.
You both are going to learn who this is. You're going to say, what? And then we'll talk about it. But not Mormon.
Is it Singer?
It's not Singer. But here's
If
the
you
thing.
said it was Singer, I'd have been like, nah,
Nah, checks out. So I feel like with the jerking off, it goes unspoken. Probably don't have to write that down. But one that is like a new with technology, sexting, they're like, you can't sext. So there's specific, like you cannot send or receive photos of your genitalia while in uniform or on the clock.
Here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't think, as a police officer, you should be jerking off while you're on duty.
Uh-huh.
But
What if you're in a
unless-
stakeout?
Unless they make a
You're
rule,
there for a long time.
Yeah. Unless they make a rule that says you can't text
Mm-hmm.
or receive texts, I think the sexting is an overreach.
You think so? They're coming down too hard?
100%. You're getting text anyway, right?
But I
But-
mean, maybe they have to examine the larger context of your conversation. But if you're just sitting there and you're jerking, like you're not jerking
I'm
off.
also
but you're-
saying, if I'm a cop, do I have to show you my text records?
Here's what I want to know: who watches the Watchmen? You know what I mean? Who's enforcing these rules? Who's coming after them? I'm gonna arrest myself for jerking off? No way.
I feel like I don't know if we would be able to find it, but I think there's a bigger story behind why this rule came down, and maybe we'll never know.
Yep.
But I think there was a problem. I
There-
think there were cops sexting each other.
Here's what I think. I think there's one real mad cop in Utah. That's like, son of a bitch.
All right.
Not cool.
This is just a new rule. We're not saying whose fault it is, but we're calling this Frank's Law.
No more contests and no more using the radar gun to see who can do it the fastest.
I would do that. Do you think it would register?
Only one way to find out.
I'll tell you this. I had an Apple Watch for a little bit, and I was like, is this kind of steps?
I think it does.
Does it?
I think it does. Yeah. I think you're racking up steps. I think
It was weird with an Apple Watch. I was like, even if it doesn't count as steps, they have to know. Like someone at Apple knows.
for sure.
And I think like with that, they like advertising, like they know the hour you do it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They know the website you're on when it's happening.
What would you do? Like, let's say, because I think people have like fears of, giving all of their information to technology at some point. Like, what are they going to use it for? Like, what would you do if someone tried to extort you by being like, hey, I got your Apple Watch records. And I know you jerked off twice in a week in 2013. Like, what would you?
They
You
would
think
have
you're
to-
upset? What do you
No.
think? You even
They
care?
they would have to know more. Like if they were like, I got your records, I know how much you jerk off.
Uh
I'd be like, go fuck yourself. But if they were like, I also know you did it Christmas morning at your in-laws, I'd be like, how much you need? What do you need?
Name a number. I'll
Just
make it
give
happen.
me whatever you need.
Say whatever park bench you need me to leave this briefcase under. I'll make it happen.
Uh,
But that's the law. Don't break it. If you're a cop in Utah, this is a very informational podcast for you. I also don't know if it's all of Utah or if it's like Salt Lake City or
what?
Provo.
Oh, that's good.
I don't
'cause
know.
Cops are not all state employees, right? There's some of mostly in city employees.
Some are city employees, yeah.
It'd be a fun case for the state and local jurisdictions to fight over.
The feds are getting involved on
This is our bus.
It's one of those. Here's the thing. It's one of those. What are these called? Vice laws or decency laws? Where like once you step in a direction, you can't go back in a direction. Like
Mhm.
if you're a place and you go like, hey, we say that if you have a strip club,
Mhm.
you can't serve alcohol. It's very hard for someone to put forward a law or whatever in the future that says, you know what? I think people should be able to drink at full nude strip clubs.
Mhm.
Like once they're in, they're in.
Yeah.
Tassels. That's how we got tassels.
Oh, honestly, I think we should bring those back.
No, they do that. Some places, the strip clubs, they can't show their nips,
We went to one.
and they have to cover their bottoms.
I forget. Someone was moving away in Cincinnati, and in Covington, you can't have. There's no topless. In Kentucky, there's no topless bars, but there are those tassel bars, and we went to one, and not a bit pregnant gal up on stage, tasseled up. real big celebration.
You don't think pregnant women should be able to make money?
I think
Is it
that
a non-smoking establishment?
it was not a non-smoking establishment.
All right, I'll pass a little judgment.
And it's just, I feel like it's a very hackneyed kind of like, oh, it's such a bad strip club. There's a pregnancy. Like, I feel like that's just a very played out kind of stereotype.
Andy has a fun strip club story from when he was in college.
Oh yeah, I do. I was.
Are you
at
giving
a-
me
yeah.
shit for the morning radio?
I did just set him up like we're a radio show that he gave me topics to get to. It came up naturally. I don't know what happened. But we just all turned on each other.
The child just walked outside.
So let me
Andy,
go with this story.
The floor is yours. Navigate this. Navigate this. All right. And go.
Tell your strip club story.
So I was at this strip club called Roxy's on the east side of St. Louis.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of in a It's almost like the strip was in a trailer. They sell hot dogs outside when you leave. It's a real classy place, and they were doing a shower dance. These girls were doing a shower dance, and they
Mhm.
had toys in the shower,
Yep.
not rubber duckies. You know the kind of toys I'm talking about, and they were getting
Oh,
they were getting
bikes
wild.
and
This
yeah,
is what happens. It's like when
Mhm.
you do like satellite radio.
yeah.
You can say it. You can say whatever you want.
They were getting wild. They were getting, one girl was doing a handstand, and the other was on the toy coming from up top.
Wow.
It was wild, and I was there with my roommates, and then we just see also in the Roxy's enjoying the show was the professor of our marriage and family life class,
Also, it's a
who
Jesuit
is a
university.
Jesuit priest.
What?
He's a Jesuit priest
Oh my
watching
gosh.
this shower scene, and I know he saw us.
Slew.
But yeah, at SLU, and we didn't talk to him or anything. But every
Yeah.
time I saw him from then
That's
on, I was
the,
like, this guy.
That's the main difference between a Jesuit priest and a Catholic priest is they can watch shower shows.
Oh, I'd always been curious about what the difference was. And so this
All
is,
the water in the shower was blessed,
Is it
so
holy
it
water?
was holy
Yeah.
water. Yeah,
Is the Jesuit thing they can get married and jerk off and stuff?
I don't think so.
I think it is.
I don't know.
I think that's
I don't
just-
think so.
this
Am I?
is-
I'm not. There is some version. That's the reason they exist, I believe. I'm wading out
don't
of my depth here.
I am Jewish, so I don't know why both of you are looking at me right
I
now.
went
I know.
to a Jesuit school, and I don't know. They
Yeah.
didn't say that ever.
It's a Catholic affiliated, right?
They were never like we're like cool Catholics.
Yeah, I think they can.
We're
fuck.
cool priests.
I think
I
they
don't
can
know.
fucking get married. Because I believe the whole "don't get married" thing was started because of property, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. I think that
'Cause
they
they didn't want you to
can't
marry
because I
s-
think they all live together in like a priest house, or they had like a frat. I
Priest
think.
house?
Yeah,
Hey,
House.
what's up,
priest
bro?
house, fun movie
Priest
idea.
house. I mean, we got to shut this podcast down and go pitch this reality show to my
Honestly,
wife.
I think Priest House. You guys skip this. You got to start with Priest House 5. You just skip all the
Priest-
first.
you go?
You skip the first 4.
Priest house out.
Priest House 5. All
I
right.
think Jesuits can fuck.
I don't know.
I think Jews can. You guys know what I'm talking about. Get it?
Mm,
Right. That's local sex, guys. That's the
We did it.
podcast.
I mean, if Andy's on here,
Thanks for having me on, guys. This was a real dream. You know, I've done the podcast with you, Alex, and I've done the podcast with you, Tommy. It was a real dream
I think
to
you're
be
about
here
to
with
do the
both of you.
podcast
I
with me
loved
next
it.
week.
I love
Yeah.
it.
I think
you
Alex is
might.
bailing.
I think you might be in next week too.
I didn't
Oh,
even ask
and
you.
I'll
Just
be
as
back
a-
next week.
Just dropping a bomb on
Didn't even
everybody.
ask. Do we do plugs at the end? It feels like you should say something. Like
Say
have
something,
something
yeah.
to get out of it.
Oh, you know,
you're
follow
more
me on
social
social
media than
media
we are.
at Andy Woodhull.
And while you're there,
And
we're
follow-
also
So
follow
we're,
this
I'm
podcast.
At Tommy Johnagin, Alex, and the podcast are
Uh-huh.
just some bullshit. that
Alex Stone.
They're inconsistent on every side.
comedy, Alex11 on Instagram, the local news podcast, the local news pod, just on all social media platforms. Throw in some variation of the local news pod, or the local news
Yeah.
podcast, and you will find it. I promise. I promise. Within 3 tries, you will find this podcast.
I think one of the things that happened with our social media for the podcast, because we also didn't have that for like 3 years.
Yeah.
So we started getting social media. I immediately grab up a title
Uh-huh.
to have consistency.
Yeah.
Forget the password. We get locked out. Had to do a new one.
Right. Can I tell you one of the what I perceive to be one of our biggest problems with our social media is that every day when we go to post, I get a text from you that says, "How do I do this?"
Well, you're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. We're posting reels now, TVGs or whatever. He's like, push the plus sign. There's fucking 2 plus signs on the thing.
TVGs. Most of this has been TV PG-13.
I did have to do like a video tutorial, like I was
Yeah,
walking
he
my
did.
mom through attaching a PDF to an email
I don't know.
of like screen recording my phone of like, this is what you hit, do it this way.
All right. Thanks for listening. You got to shut it down.
Oh, I got to do it. All right. Okay. Hold on.
See you.
Bye.